Hello everyone, Darren here. This video was requested via a YouTube comment, and it is how to play super heavy tanks on open maps or maps that are not suited to these slow, large, lumbering tanks. So that is the focus of today's video. The problem I had with this one was that there's no set way for me to explain how to play tanks I'm unfamiliar with. So the best thing that I figured I could do was put myself into that position of playing a slow, lumbering, super heavy tank and try and see what I could do to prevent myself from just getting outright slaughtered by artillery or TDs. So we're going to look at a replay of the how to do that in a super heavy tank. So let's get started. Alrighty, so as I adjust my headset, we are on Prokhorovka standard battle, and I'm playing in the 60 TP, one of the only two super heavy tanks that I have, the other one being the 705A, and I felt the 705A would not accurately portray the sluggedness of a super heavy, and I figured the 60 TP would be better. But anyway, I have come up with, after playing a couple games in super heavies and getting a couple open maps, I have come up with a couple of strategies to help anyone that is playing a super heavy on an open map such as Prokhorovka to at least succeed or do better than what they normally would expect. And you also notice that there is artillery on the other team. So yeah, I do have that chance of getting hit by artillery. But, and these will come up in the screen in the order when I cover them, is the first one will be to, if there's no dedicated place on the map for you to fight, go to where you think you will be the most advantageous to your tank. I might have screwed up the wording there a little bit, but pretty much as in this case, for me, I went to the railroad tracks dip, and I hid there because I had the railroad tracks as a solid cover to prevent the hill from shooting down on me, and I had a nice dip for me to duck back into and get unspotted here. And that is pretty much where I figured would be the most advantageous to me. I'm not the fastest tank, but I do have a pretty good, decent front upper plate, as well as a pretty decent rounded turret. So I figured being able to kind of play a ridgeline a little bit would be the most beneficial to me. The next strategy I'd like to talk about is if there is no already safe cover, constantly move and randomize your patterns of movement and never sit still for too long. And you're going to see this throughout the entire game, is that because this is Prokhorovka, a map famous for not having a super already safe location on this map, and I apologize if you heard my phone, I have decided that it might be better for me to move around constantly, never sit still for too long, move immediately after I shoot, and just randomize all my movements, so that way if Artie decided to look at me, he wouldn't know where to pre-aim at. And honestly, that worked. I don't know if Artie ever bothered to look at me. You're going to see in this game that unfortunately, and yet fortunately, Artie never really touches me, or if he tried, I never noticed. And that was the case there. Now, real quick before I go back, this is item number 3. Be aware of objects that will help you defend your weaknesses if you need them. Now, in this case here, just as you saw, I knew that there was a Panzer 38T wreck right there that could be used for me to back into and protect my rear of the tank, and that worked. If I did not have the light tank to come and assist me, I could have backed into there, protect my rear, and then if the enemy, the T-54 lightweight, wanted to shoot me or shoot a weak spot, he would actually probably have to stop and let me, and that would give me time to move or something along those lines, and I probably could have dealt with him with a little bit of difficulty. But I noticed that he was just doing a circle around me, and I pre-aimed my gun to where he was, and he literally drove into my gun, and I took care of him. So that is strategy number 3. Be aware of objects around you that could potentially help you. Now, this fourth one, you don't really see that much because I'm playing the middle ridge this whole time, and you see it works. Enemy artillery is being taken out, so I can be a little bit more bold with everything that I'm doing. And honestly, I was being intentional about that, trying to get the experience of being focused as a big, slow, lumbering heavy, and unfortunately you just don't see that at all because everyone magically ignored me. You still see I'm at full health. I've already blocked about 1,400 damage right now, and that's just going to go up. But the fourth strategy that you should be aware of, or at least try and attempt if possible in a game, is if the team is advancing or advancing at a pretty decently rapid pace, is time your movements ahead of the rest of the team, so that way you are not left behind. So if you leave or start advancing or leading the charge in a sense, hopefully, like let's put, I think Malinovka, if you're charging that hill, try and, you want to time your movements to where by the time the rest of the team passes you, is that you are already halfway up the hill to the windmill there. That's what you want to try and do, is time your movements so that way you aren't left behind. So, because we all know if you get left behind on a rapidly advancing team, you're not going to really do anything that game. But those are the four main strategies that I have come up with or had brought to my attention because I don't play super heavies that much. But you're seeing this game here. I was bowling. I was exposing myself a lot, at least halfway through the game, because no one was focusing on me at all. But I'm going to chalk that up for making use of those three strategies, or three of the four strategies that led to my success of having a very, very good game that you're going to see here. It's not even over yet. And I'm already at 1186 spot assist with over 5,000 of my own damage dealt. And again, the game's not even over yet. But I'm going to chalk up to the success of this game of making use of the excellent strategies that I have listed to you. At least three of the four of them I actually tried to do or did, and it worked out in my favor. As you can see, I'm not dead, and my health is pretty much right there at that 80-90%. It's really, that's all I could really say about how to play a super heavy and an open map. And as you can see, it just a good game. Just a very, very good game in the 60TP on an open map. So it is possible to have very, very good games. So looking at it, we're going to see here that I do well over 6,000 damage dealt. And very good game. But that concludes today's video on how to play super heavies in an open map. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of WotC Academy.